said. One of the first things that President Biden asked me to do very soon following his inauguration was to address the WHO Executive Board in their annual meeting. And my message from the president to the board was that the United States is back again on the global scene with regard to our role as a participant and leader in the global effort against COVID-19. I made the announcement on behalf of the president that we will rejoin WHO. We will meet our financial and other commitments to WHO. We will be part of COVAX and a number of other things that will reinstate us onto the global scene. So I just wanted to make it clear that that is a commitment that President Biden has made before he became president and inaugurated, and now we are fulfilling that promise. So that is something that's very important. The other thing that I want to get our foreign colleagues to be aware of is that what the president has said publicly and to those of us on the medical team and his advisors privately is that we will make policies and make recommendations based on science. In fact, his exact words is that science will rule with what we do. Scientific data and evidence will be the foundation of all of the decisions that we make. And in that regard, this is exactly what we're doing. As many of you know, the United States has been hit harder than any other country with regard to COVID-19. It was only just a month or so ago when we were having anywhere from 300,000 to 400,000 cases per day with 3,000 to 4,000 deaths. What we are seeing right now is a plateauing of that with some of the numbers coming down. But what the president has told the citizens of the United States, and we want to make it clear to everyone, that we cannot be complacent because things are looking like they're turning around. We are accelerating our vaccine implementation effort, getting more and more vaccines into the arms of people as the time goes by. But we must continue to implement the public health measures that are so essential in controlling the outbreak.
After all, the identity of the mysterious infectious disease beginning from last year remains unknown. The characteristic of this infectious disease is that only the elderly die, and also peoples die at almost the end of their lives, and all peoples are in good health, or no one goes to the hospital on purpose. The initial symptoms are sore throat and cough, which rapidly progresses to pneumonia. When the corpse is dissected, each organ, including the lungs, has only traces of tissue called normal, systemic rather than local. Normal cells transform into abnormally structured cells. In other words, it becomes a living corpse and becomes a zombie. This phenomenon is unconscious, but intentional, and depends on almost accidental coincidence. And the future is in an unpredictable state, with many uncertainties. This phenomenon has neither mathematical order nor regularity in this world. In other words, this phenomenon becomes a psychic phenomenon. The plague that has been occurring since last year is a chronic type of infectious disease, with symptoms such as autoimmune diseases rather than the symptoms of colds. Not wrong at all. Similar to the symptoms of systemic lupus erythematosus. It falls under the category of autoimmune diseases, and the cause of the disease is unknown. Lifespan will die within 20 years due to continued administration of steroids. If this begins at the time of childbirth, it will have already died by the time of the 20-year-old coming of age ceremony. However, neither the source of infection nor the root of infection is known as an intermediate organism. In other words, the infectious factor becomes a mystery and unknown. I don't know how many infected people are. And, right now, human children are the most promising source of mysterious infection diseases.
At the end of World War II, in Japan, elementary school children from national schools in big cities such as Tokyo, Osaka, Nagoya, and Yokohama were moved to rural villages in the suburbs to avoid the war.
So, this time, I investigated what happened in Japan from the post-war period of 1945 to around 1990. It prevented parents and Japan from the post-war period of 1945 to around 1990. It prevented parents and children living apart from the war. The Japanese government has evacuated to a safe place to protect children during the airstrikes for the survival of the country. This is so-called confidential military training. Such a record was left. These will continue until the end of the war and will be the basis of a system to fight the U.S. military with national mobilization.